Hello everyone, and welcome to TorqueDev. I know you're all looking forward to seeing the rendering engine done and maybe some sprites dancing on the screen, but I haven't gotten to it yet. I'm actually finishing it tonight, so hopefully you'll see something tomorrow or the day after. I've only got a little bit left. What I have been working on, however, is the IDE. We're coming to a point where people are actually going to be able to start using the engine, but we don't have any of the utilities ready for people to use yet. And so I've been focusing my priority mainly on that, and I want to show you a little bit about that. This is going to be a short video today, but didn't want you to think I wasn't up to anything. To start with, this is the old IDE. I showed this off, I believe it was last week. It's fairly minimalistic. It has the MDI interface that no one likes, apparently, and doesn't work under OS X. It converts it to tabs under Linux and doesn't work very well. Honestly, having modified it a lot lately, I have to admit, I don't like the way this is put together either. There's a much better way of doing it. And I think I've come about with a much better way. And I'll show you that now. This is the new version of the IDE. You'll notice the interface is drastically different. This is completely cross-platform compliant and works under OS X, Linux, Windows, various BSDs, and a few others. I believe it also works under Solaris, so I've been told anyway. Mainly, you'll see that the workspace is completely configurable to whatever you want. On the side here, you have a Project Explorer. When you open up a new project with our game engine or whatnot, all your scripts are going to show up right there, as well as all your game content, models, files, levels, you name it. Everything will be able to be edited completely through this application. You also have an editor here. For now, it's a Python editor. I'm using it personally for debugging the toolbox editor as it is as I'm working on it, but that's actually going to be turned into a Lua interpreter that works directly with the game engine. So you can literally initialize the engine in here and start working with it on the fly as you go. This is a very, very useful feature, and it's not done very often. It's fairly difficult to implement, but I think that the difficulty is worth it. Now, one of the other issues is as I said, this is completely configurable. You can do anything you want with it. Okay? You can actually interact with everything in here, and it works appropriately. However, it doesn't have to stay in the exact way you had before. The windows can be moved around anywhere in the editor you want, and do whatever you want with them. Okay? I tend to like them in this configuration. Same here. Okay? Now, let's open up a new file here. This is a tabbed interface. Okay? No more MDI interfaces. No more scattered windows all over the place. This is a lot more organized. Now, I have a small problem with this. What if you have multiple monitors? You can't just blow up the editor across all the monitors and hope it will work. There is another solution. Multiple tabs. Much like what you can do in Visual Studio, you can actually move the tabs around anywhere you want. Okay? In any configuration you want, and you can get some extremely complicated setups here. Now, most people will not have a setup like this, but I'm just pointing out that if your workflow does dictate this, you can do it. Now, be aware, on a larger screen, these tabs, while they are editor tabs right now for text files, they don't have to be. They could very likely be map editors. They could be anything you could imagine. Each tab actually represents a plugin. In this case, we're using a Python plugin. There will be a plugin for doing all your map editing, compositioning, your special effects, particle editors, you name it. Everything is going to be completely configurable, and each tab will represent something different. Now, I brought up if you have multiple monitors. Again, this still has the issue of you can't spread it up along all the screens. Let's say you were to stretch the interface, all the way across the screen. You still have the small issue of all your menus are still right here. So if this is all the way on the right-hand screen, if you're editing something on the right-hand screen and you need to get to that menu, you got to bring the mouse all the way back over. We have a solution for that too. Remember me telling you that the interface is completely configurable? Well, the tabs can actually be branched off and move around. They are now their own editor individually. I'm still working on the configuration right now, but these editor icons right now will be respawned onto this little editor. It's its own independent editor and can be moved anywhere on the screen. Multiple monitors, you name it. Now, let's say I want to put it back on the screen. It's now in its own window. I can't just simply like drag it over and dock it. I want to put it back in the editor window for whatever reason. Well, just close it. It'll immediately respawn back in there. This is easily the best interface I could not only come up with, but I have actually been working with it and am really enjoying the interface. Again, it's a plugin based editor, so any kind of editor you can imagine you can build in here. When you first get it, you will have an editor for map files for working with Hephaestus, as well as particle editors and, of course, the Lua editors. Any debugger as well. This is my pride and joy, and I've really enjoyed working on it, and I can't wait to actually distribute it to you people, as I'm hoping you will enjoy working with this. It's a very pleasurable experience and a lot easier to work with than, say, Visual Studio and a ton of different applications all at different times. It can all be loaded up one time and do whatever you want with. Again, I will be finishing the editor up tonight, hopefully. That's my goal anyway. So hopefully I should have a new video up in the next couple of days, but that should cover it for today. Take care.